7th, 2012. Mark, would you please give the blessing this evening? You okay? Kevin, would you please give the blessing?
Okay.
Sorry to catch back our
That's okay.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just like to thank you for the moisture we've been receiving this week, and we just ask that you guide us all in all the decisions that need to be made, and pray in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Kevin. Is there any additions or corrections to the agenda? I'd like to move the fire department marshal up in front of Mel, in case he would, has things to do at home.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no. Thank you. Consent agenda, John.
Approve the minutes of the regular meeting of January 17th, 2012. Approve appropriation ordinance 0119-2012 in the amount of $15,757.88. Approve appropriation ordinance 0207-2012 in the amount of $9,629.35. Approve appropriation ordinance 0207-2012A in the amount of $57,240.16. Approve appropriation ordinance 1231-2011B in the amount of $1,550.55. And to approve the purchase of a half load of power poles in the amount of $6,103.22.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say no. Thanks, John. Any citizen comments? Fire department, marshal.
The one thing I got is, I got a hold of Jared Taylor, and I asked him if he would get back on the department. The numbers are down, we need a little help, and he agreed, and with your guys' approval, I'd like to put him back on the Central Fire Department.
Okay. I approve that. Council, got a motion?
I move we approve Jared Taylor to the fire department. It's actually the mayor's appointment. You're approving her appointment.
I had that.
Approve her appointment.
Okay, sorry.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye. Thank you. Anything else, Marshall?
That's all I have.
Okay. Is there any questions for Marshall?
What are your numbers for your city?
We're sitting at right at 18, I believe, right now.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Marshall.
Thank you.
Administration, Mel.
Okay, we have the bids for contract going. The two. B&J Mowing, doing a bid of $55 an hour.
both of them.
What do you guys think? So we have any opinions?
Did that state when they're both licensed and insured?
What's the amount of insurance that V&J has?
We only require a certain amount on the contract.
Well, it's gotta be commercial license.
Right.
100,000, 300,000 is required.
We have $1 million.
You don't need-
Well, I would make a motion to hire V&J at $55 an hour.
There's a second that motion.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. Thank you.
Next item was the private well and service connections. The mayor and I talked today and kind of kicked some stuff around. And, we thought about maybe a workshop, talk about this and other items. So it'd be all right with you guys.
Workshop with council,
Yes.
public.
Well, the intent would be for the council, it is public, but I mean, it's for the
Public can come to the workshop, they just can't be part of it.
When is that?
I would like it as soon as possible.
For me, it'd have to be next month.
What?
For me, it'd have to be next month.
Yes.
Get all the information here this evening?
Not really.
No.
We've got some other information coming in.
Tomorrow night? Wednesday?
Can, I guess.
Yeah, I'm open, I'm flexible.
Wednesdays are good for me.
It's gonna be a workshop on what?
Water issues and the
Is
private
that
well.
too soon?
No,
I guess.
No. That would be awesome.
Okay. Now, you realize you can't take action at a workshop?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I won't be here to take my next, okay.
But there won't be teaching class. Huh?
At what time?
7, would that work for you, Mark, or are you done at the library?
No, that'd be fine with me. I could close up about 10 minutes early and be over here in time.
Okay. So would tomorrow night work?
Sure.
Okay. Should I open now? I have a motion, please, to have a workshop on water-related issues tomorrow night at 7.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Marks. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
that's all I have.
Okay, is there any questions for Mel? Thanks, Mel. John?
Okay, we had our audit last week, and there was a couple items that they wanted to have more clarification. As we get better at what we do, they're going to dig harder to find things. These things haven't been done in many years. We've had the same policies as far as the new fraud policy that I had in your packets. It's something that they asked that we have, and so they sent kind of a sample to give us an idea of what to do, and then we tweaked it amongst the departments that we have, and because we don't have like a a city administrator, they had that listed. Well, we don't have that, so we had to change it somewhat. But this is what we came up with, and this is something, if you approve, that each of our employees would read and sign, and it would be part of the permanent files. And that way they know what steps are to be taken if they should suspect that anything's going on. They have something in place of what steps they should take and what they're responsible for.
Did we have a copy of the old one?
Yeah.
We didn't have
We
it.
didn't have
We
one.
never have had
one.
this.
I have a question regarding this. One thing when I read over this, when I got the packet, I noticed that, no offense, Madam Mayor, but everything seems to stop with you. If somebody suspects the mayor of doing something fraudulent, who do they report to?
Well, what used to be where the mayor is, that was city administrator.
Okay.
So, I mean,
I don't know, the way, I don't know how a mayor would be able to go about,
being fraudulent.
yeah. Because any check that's signed, it has to be signed by 2 other signatures.
Live signature.
Yeah, live signatures can't be used by stamp, so.
And
And I
without
don't-
your approval, she really can't.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't handle any other monies in the office.
Okay.
Cash or
You have a
anything.
suggestion?
Yeah.
No, I don't. That's what
Okay.
I was thinking. What happens? But this seems to cover it
Yeah.
rather well, so.
The thing
Put
that-
it in where it can go to the city attorney or whatever. I guess.
It seems to be, we just explained right now, there's fail-safe. So, there's no way that, like you just said, there's no way that you could write something out and then not get.
Yeah,
The biggest way for her to be able to do anything fraudulent would be if she was getting a kickback from some type of vendor or something, but she doesn't do any purchasing. So, I don't,
Yeah, just the simple fact of her persuading us or telling us what her
No.
ideas are.
that wouldn't be.
that's
not
not
fraudulent.
fraudulent.
Well,
That's
at the end, where you
She's
stick
entitled to
with.
her opinion.
Oh.
She's
Right.
she's entitled to her
Yeah.
opinion, so
Right.
that's not fraudulent if you, like she's
And
overdone
and he's
it.
just,
Saying,
Mark's just saying it'd be awkward for someone to go say, well, Mayor, I think you're doing this and I want you to bring it to someone's attention,
Yeah, I see what he means.
Mhm.
You
The-
just have it to where,
The only thing I know is, like Troy said, if
That
you guys
instance, if
think
you go to
that
the
I
city
am,
attorney.
or city employees think that the mayor is, then they go straight to the attorney.
And one thing asked, every audit is in, all the department heads are asked this, and any of the, I believe even the foremen, if they've been asked to do anything that they didn't feel like was correct or illegal or fraudulent.
Yes.
So we have perfect, and that's done confidentially,
Yes.
one-on-one. So at any time, if any of us felt like the mayor had asked us to do anything that we shouldn't, we can report her right there to the auditors as well. But that isn't stated in here, we surely could put it in if you wanted us to.
Wouldn't be a problem, Tommy. That'd be a good idea.
what's the penalty if they don't follow this rule?
well,
Say they just went straight to him or something, they saw him and brought it up. Is there
There wouldn't be
any
penalty.
backlash, so to
But
speak,
I think
for
the
it?
biggest thing that usually somebody has question about, if they see something that bothers them, perhaps they don't know the right person to go visit with. And so instead of talking to somebody, the wrong person, they don't talk to anybody. And so it goes by. Okay? So this is just to give them a tool of, and if for some reason Mel was gone for a week and, you know, something happened in his departments and somebody came and talked to me, well, you know, hopefully I could take care of that for them. Or it might be something that we would wait on or whatever, but at least it could be, they would have an idea of what they're supposed to be doing.
And they should have a copy as well after they sign it.
Oh, yes.
So, but yeah, I don't have a problem with adding that in there, Mark,
Okay.
at all. So,
Do you want to approve it with the change, or do you want to wait and see it after it's changed?
What was the other thing besides fraudulent?
that's what the whole thing's on.
This is all
Yeah,
fraud.
but
There's another one on our policy,
it was fraudulent and something else, wasn't it?
Well, it's a sick leave change.
but it's a separate
That's
issue.
different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would.
I don't see any purpose why we need to
Look
vote
at
on
it
it
again.
after. I mean, I think we
Just
can
make
approve
the
it.
change and then approve, just make it, approve it now.
And only if
Approve
the
it with the
change is gonna be made, I don't have a problem approving it. I mean, I'll make the motion
Approve it now.
to
with the
approve it
change.
now, knowing the changes will be made.
Yeah, I agree.
So you second it, Mark?
Yes, I'll second that.
And then just make us a little.
Yes.
I'll put it in your phone.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
No.
Thanks, council.
Okay, and the second thing the auditors wanted us to be a little bit more complete in our description of is on our sick leave. We had an employee sick leave pool. If somebody was out of sick leave and we wanted to donate to the pool, they could do that, or if somebody leaves and they have some left over, they can donate to the pool. So if somebody has a long
Or term.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, themselves.
or if they have to, you know, have lots of doctor's appointments scheduled over a longer period of time than what they would be earning their sick leave for, they're able to use that out of it.
How
So
many days can be in that pool?
we don't have a limit on that. That's however many days people donate,
You
you
know how
know.
many days are in the pool now?
I didn't look, I'm sorry. I could check that out. You probably don't know.
But I think that would come in council, Troy. That would be, you know what I mean? Like if John had needed an extra,
We have not brought it to council before, if somebody
no,
needed.
but like what's in the pool?
Oh,
Like if, you know, it would be up to council how many extra hours you would give that person. You see what I'm saying?
Well, she's just saying it ain't.
what,
I mean,
what
this is
we've
written
done.
where they have it, so why
Yeah.
do they have to bring it to us?
Yeah, and we haven't before, you know, nobody's had a problem with it before. The auditors just said they wanted it, they didn't have a problem with how we do it, they just said they wanted it explained better in the policy manual, so it was better understood.
Okay.
But one thing that it does do, and it's in notification up here of an employee, if they're going to be for, oh no, that's not the right one. And it might be before on the other page. They have to, if they are going to be gone more than 3 days, and if the department head wants to, they can have them get a note from the doctor.
That's on D, John.
Okay.
For sick leave in excess of 3 days, department head may require a signed statement from the health care provider.
Well, say somebody goes on this tomorrow and uses up most of the pool, and then somebody else needs it 6 months from now, and there's not hardly anything in that pool, what happens to the second guy? He's
It's,
just tough
it's
out of
all,
luck.
well, it's all
First come, first served.
pretty much. I mean, but there's usually enough in it that there's not really a problem. This happened because we had an employee leave that had been here a long time, and he had accumulated a lot of days. And so instead of just, because you don't get paid for those. When you leave, you don't get paid for your sick leave. You just,
Take that
that's
any
gone.
day. Do you take those name, I mean,
No.
okay.
You know, they're just gone. And so he just said, can I donate that? Because he knew there was another employee that was having some real issues that was going to be long-term. But, you know, we set it to where they have to use all of their own first before they can go to this. So it's really not, I mean, anybody that's ever dipped out of it has only dipped once or twice throughout the year, except for one employee that was kind of, it was a long-term situation, and it was like 1 day a month for several months. But that was about it.
So they don't abuse it?
Oh.
And- Right.
No, most of them have all their own. Most of them have plenty. We don't have a lot of people who use sick leave a lot. Most of the people that have been here more than 5-7 years have had time to build up some anyway.
How much sick leave a month do you get, or a year?
It's 1 day.
1 day a month?
Uh-huh.
And that can build up to a total of 45.
No,
But
that
we-
can build up to a total of 120 days
Of each individual person.
of each individual person.
Why do you need a
I
pool?
was gonna say, why do we need, I don't
Well,
understand
some
why we need a
people
pool.
use it, you know, I mean, some people who are not, say if you had an employee that's only been, and that, it takes a while to build to that. It takes 10 years if you never use any to build to that.
How much is in the sick leave pool?
I
She
don't
doesn't
know,
know.
I can go down and get that if you want me to.
I would like to know.
You want that now?
We got Tommy,
Is
there's
he
other
a-
things on the agenda.
If
So
we
either
go
that
on
or we
something
can
else,
table
Bill,
this for later on.
Yeah.
Huh?
it's- Table.
Make a motion to table it for next meeting. We get together, get a
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. Oh, Lord. Number 3, sound system.
Yeah, the last thing I have is, we talked about the sound system. You can see from what I put in the packets, the one that was done in 2004 and the one that was done just this last month, there's a difference of about $500. So there is some technical equipment that's improved in the last 8 years. I had opportunity to visit with Bill Clausing. He was in the office, and he asked if he could look at it. He said this is definitely a good system that would probably work for us for quite a while, and he was glad to see the items that were on there, and that it was bid installed with all the labor and everything. So we have money in the Cornwall fund that can be used for this, that cannot be used for other things other than for the parks.
Any comments, council?
Well, I still think it's just the wrong time to try to do
I'd have to agree with Troy. We use it, what, one time a year? Jubilee?
Well, we say we use it one time a year. I think it would be used more
We can't,
more than what we think it would be used for. So, I mean, that's just my personal feeling.
I think there's several things that it could be used for. I really don't see the problem with using money that's only going to be used for that anyway. The money that can't be used for anything else.
Just for our parks.
Exactly. So unless our parks are in dire need of some new swings or repair, I don't see the problem with it.
But I mean, I think it would be used more if it was available. Let me put it to you that way, Bobby. That's just the way I feel. So,
I don't know if you remember, it's been many years ago, where they had music playing up down here and stuff, and if there was something going on, people could hear it from all directions on the park. Kevin, I think it was you when we were here for the
state volleyball.
state volleyball. Yeah, you mentioned, wouldn't it be nice? Yeah. So there are some other things that it could be used for.
I think, I don't know, I think in a, you know, you're gonna say, well, what kind of emergency? If there was something, disaster, you know, I think if it's a loud enough speaker, you know,
Yeah.
you could hear it quite a ways, you know, and people would know instead of frantically running here to the office wondering what was going on. I don't know, and I could be totally wrong.
I think the biggest part of it would be for entertainment, though. I mean, we're not going to use it as an emergency
No.
because there should be a better system for that. But it could be used along with other things. But
I would a whole lot rather see some kind of an entertainment stand or bandstand or something built in the park than I would this. Something that everybody's going to use.
well, then you're going to have a speaker system in there.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of wondering if, you know, there's been several times you've had a band come in or music on the square or even the hot summer nights. Could they use it for hot summer nights
Yeah.
or?
The controls and receiver would be up here.
Would
And
be-
so, you know, if they wanted to put CDs in and there's a remote, you know, to use it.
And if a band wanted to use it, like when we had Bike Across Kansas, we had Daryl come in and sing, I think Daryl Bauer. Could they pipe it into their system?
Through that. I
don't
would
know.
have to ask. I wouldn't know what.
I would
you could-
think any band that would come in would have their own sound system. All they need is
Well,
electricity.
that's, yeah,
I
if you
know
had
that,
some
but-
small band.
Well,
you know,
yes, you could, to answer that, if they had the microphone that goes through this receiver, then it would go out through those.
further, is
speakers.
what I was saying, because you have, pretty much you have to be right up there by him.
Mhm.
It doesn't carry that well.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you got such an open.
Because we're proactive.
To be, Kevin.
Does anybody know the quality of this system? I mean, is it?
Well, like I said, when Bill Clausing looked at it, he was very pleased with it. And I think Bill's a pretty good,
I think Bill helped with our sound system in the gym.
and he
And I
helped
know that's
with
different,
the
but
one that we do have, but he admitted too that that's more of a portable system that could be used still for maybe Victorian tea or something inside. You know, it's not totally obsolete. Or if we were doing something different, I don't know exactly what I would do with that, but it's not totally obsolete.
I don't know, I kind of like the idea. I mean,
If you started a farmer's market again or something on Saturday mornings or anything like that, this is something that you could have available, whether you would use the microphone to say who has what up there, or if you would just have music playing, to just have it more,
Well, you can play music during Christmas around the square
sure.
when we have the Easter egg hunt.
When the
You
Victorian
mentioned
tea
hot
is
summer
going
nights, the
on.
Victorian tea.
Yeah, it could be.
recently when the Science Museum had the Model A Club down there, could have been playing some music for them. You know, there's quite a few things that we could do with Halloween. When the kids are running around, you can play some spooky music or whatever the heck you want to play. I mean, there's a lot of things for it that can be used. Now, to play devil's advocate, what about vandalism on this system?
Everything would be in the office.
No, but I mean, you have speakers.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
They'd be
Well, we
insured.
would insure it.
Okay.
That cost isn't included in that price.
I don't think it would be very much considering.
I suppose the county would entertain a motion to split it 50-50 since it's the county square.
what are you looking at me for?
I don't know, we're always looking for ways to make our downtown more welcoming to people, and I know at Jubilee, that is a tough
The
deal.
other thing, but we don't even know what the people that live all around the square is gonna think about this.
Who
music
lives
going
around the
on.
square?
Just whoever's within a block or two of the
Well, we don't
square.
have to
I don't
blast
think
it.
it needs to be that loud.
It's not going to be that loud. I mean, I think the music during the hot summer nights was pretty loud, and we didn't get any complaints.
Yeah, I wasn't a complaint there, let me tell you what, when I try to go to bed at night and your music's still going at 3 o'clock in the morning, no, I'm just kidding.
We did have an anonymous complaint.
Okay.
They would prefer that the speakers be turned the other way.
Well, that's one thing that can be done with that thing. Okay. But if you've got these speakers out here, they're directional. You can sure that the music's going to bounce off
I
everywhere.
don't,
We had it to the speakers that were going straight down the street down here with nothing for the sound to bounce off of.
Yeah.
So we could do a better job at that during hot summer nights. But if you have the system, probably a little bit better because.
You wouldn't have to turn it up so loud.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
well, I'm a block off the square and you hardly hear anything, even on Jubilee night when the band's playing.
Imagine Kim.
If you're sitting out on the porch, you can hear it really good, but if you go in the house, you can't hardly hear anything.
Well, you can walk right behind the speaker.
Oh,
Same
Lord.
there.
When they're facing the other direction.
I don't think we'll have to worry about being too loud.
Does the Cornwall Fund, does it cover the square, or is it just Cornwall Park?
It's
No,
any
it's
park we have.
Any park we have?
And this won't take everything that we have to spend in there. This only takes about,
How much money we got in there, huh?
well, we can't spend the principal, so let me do a little bit of subtraction here. We have 28,000 that's usable. Subtraction.
I just question whether $10,000 system is going to be money well spent. I mean, we do have the money in Cornwall Fund.
Well, how would, I mean, what would we spend, I mean, if we were gonna spend 28,000, what would you spend 28,000 on? What take, I mean,
Just because we've got it, doesn't mean we have to spend it.
now, I heard Troy say that
Exactly.
before.
That's
not-
exactly true.
It's not the point I'm trying to make.
Well,
The point I'm trying to make is, what exactly are we gonna put into our parks that would ever cost $28,000?
I'll tell you what,
I have no idea.
a nice advertisement sign in a park over there slid up to tell people what's going on in town would be a pretty good start, I would think.
Okay, that's a great suggestion.
But
I've brought it up 2 or 3 times and it never goes nowhere.
I've never heard that.
I've never heard that.
I haven't heard that either. But also too, I could be wrong, but I do believe when they put that memorial block or rock up in the square that we had quite a few people complain about that because it was not a group of people did that on their own without getting the okay from the county. So that county does belong to, or that square does belong to the county.
Okay,
We're not
so,
talking, we're talking around.
so why are we mowing it?
Because that was the deal that was made years ago. Have you not read your history?
It goes back to 18.
It goes way back.
Yeah, I did a tour on that. She was telling me,
Yeah,
we have a verbal agreement
yes, we do.
to
That we
maintain,
take care of
the park.
That we take care
I
of
think it's
the
written
square.
agreement. I think it's in the county.
Well, yeah, they kind of just took minutes.
Come on, Bobby.
Meeting.
I didn't know it.
You really didn't?
I didn't
Yeah,
know.
it's
I didn't know
I
it.
didn't know either till I
Yeah,
read that.
If we don't own it, I don't know why we'd be taking care of it.
what we do. It was an agreement years ago, back in the 1800s, like Don said.
Part of the agreement was to.
I'm not saying it's a beautiful square.
Yeah, it
Don't
is. It's-
take that the wrong way.
But, okay, back to what we was talking about. But I do believe we would have to get the okay from the county to do something.
Well, I would put a motion on the table to get the approval from the county to put a bandstand over there in one of them corners for somebody that comes in the summertime and wants to set up a
Yes,
band.
Don.
Jubilee. I'd make a motion to put that on the table.
Yes,
Well, we
Don.
don't have any
That,
numbers.
that idea floated about 15, 20 years ago,
I was gonna say.
and it got met with very stiff opposition from the county and a lot of local citizens. You know, there was a petition floated around for a while and talk about firestorm. That was a firestorm.
Put a
I mean, it's been against it.
Against it.
It was,
For what
there were some on both sides, but I mean, I think the
Safety
city,
and looks.
it was mostly safety, looks, and but
I
part of the
think-
original agreement was for the placement of the courthouse. The courthouse was supposed to go in the square. They agreed back when to put the courthouse on the corner, and if the city would maintain the square as the county square. And so
Okay.
it was a deal that they made long before any you or I were around here.
I think there would be a lot of people who have put a lot of hours into the square that would agree that a sound system would only enhance what we have. And we have a beautiful downtown. It's the one thing that attracted us to this town.
There's a lot of people that say that.
If anybody had been around and heard some of the members of the Wichita Model Lake Club, they had nothing but good things to say about the town square. They were blown away by how beautiful it looked.
Mhm.
I mean, something like this, if they would like to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, if something like this would help enhance that, and if we could get more things into, more people involved with something like that, I think it just makes St. John look a lot better.
Okay.
The reason I brought up the stand in the square, Kenny Parton visited with me a great deal last summer about something like that. He said, I was going to get that done when I was on the city council, and he never did. And I got to thinking about it, and it is a good idea.
Well, I think it'd be a nice idea to have something like that in there, but, looking at I don't know what the safety issues are, I'd have to really look more into it. One thing that one person had brought up was more benches in the park.
And we've done that. We did that
A couple years ago,
A
a
couple
couple more
years ago.
picnic tables.
Yes.
But the issue there is mowing around it all, moving them to mow and then moving them back. I think that was part of the
Put
problem.
them around the trees so we can pretty much, the picnic tables are light enough, we can slide them around, it's not an issue.
Okay. So I can have a motion?
Well, I'd like to make a motion to purchase a sound system. I think it would only enhance what we already have.
I think it would definitely perk up the park a little bit, so I second that motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
No.
Kevin, you said you thought it would be a good idea. Yes,
I change my mind.
you always do.
Isn't that the Constitution of the United States?
So any questions for John this evening? Thanks, John. Police Department, Adam.
With John's help, I had her place some new policies in your guys' packets to look over. Basically, just need to know if you'll approve them. The only kind of caveat to the bias-based policing policy is one of the legislators introduced a new separate bias-based policing policy this week in the legislature. I haven't had a chance to read the bill yet. I read the summary, and basically the only thing it would change is mandatory reporting requirements, which would basically say police departments would have to collect data for a certain period of time. It could be anything from a week to a month. The current model policy makes that optional, whether or not you want to do that. So I would ask you go ahead and approve the current one in the event that this one, it hasn't received a hearing in the legislature yet, so we don't know if it's going to go through. So I'd ask that you approve this one, and then if another one comes about that we have to change, we can take care of that then. But if we go ahead and at least get this one done, then we'll be well ahead of the game if it stays the way it is.
Is this the model policy that the KLATC recommends, or?
Well, this is from the Attorney General.
Okay.
You know, both of them, the domestic violence policy and the bias-based policing, they're both required by law.
If I remember right, that we don't have a guideline or a deadline that this has to be.
We do. The domestic violence policy is the most important. It was actually supposed to have been implemented July of last year. I don't know if I can go into why it wasn't in open session or not. The bias-based policing policy needs to be done by May. But the policy you have is a model policy from the Attorney General's office. So, I mean, it's not something that I set,
came up with.
that I can, I mean, you know, I took what we discussed with last meeting, I took that part of it out, and some other things that related to that weren't required. So, I mean, this is directly from the Attorney General's website with the exception of putting our name in it, and some of the other wording in reference to.
Have you read through this?
I don't know.
I think they'll let Dawn look at it.
I mean, in principle, I don't have a problem with it.
Well, coming from the Attorney General's office, it's,
Don't really have.
yeah, there can't be too much wrong with it.
Well, looking through it myself, I didn't see a whole lot that was wrong. Everything seemed to be well worded and everything was just right on the money for it. And you've got everything from the purpose, definitions, the regulations, the training of the officers, supervisor responsibilities, complaints of racial or other bias-based policing, which I really read thoroughly on that. And so forth. I think it's fine. So.
Didn't we used to have a domestic violence policy?
We do. We have one, but by law we have to replace it with this one.
Okay.
Because the biggest thing on that is the reporting requirements and the documentation we're required to give victims at the scene when it happens.
Okay.
And we've got both. We have an existing racial profiling policy too. It's just
They changed the name though. I mean.
yeah, they changed it from racial profiling to
Yeah,
bias-based.
bias-based policing.
Yeah.
I'd move we go ahead and approve those policies.
Second.
Is there any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no.
No.
Can I add another?
Yes.
And as far as, I would also ask the fraud policy, because we operate also under the overall city policy manual, but we have a separate one also. And I would ask for permission to put that policy also in ours under our investigation section, under the premise that the
Yes.
police department might investigate something if it's going on.
Yes. I don't have a problem with that. Council?
I don't have a problem with that.
We need a motion on it.
What is the
That's
policy
part of what we had.
Okay. Okay.
if it involves your department? Do you refer it out to another.
The domestic violence?
Well,
Or,
well, any kind of a violation of fraud policy or any policy that might happen within your, assuming that some officer went crazy or something.
for us, minor investigations would be referred to the sheriff's office. If it was something major, it'd be referred to the
Yeah,
KDI.
okay. I just want to make sure we.
And I just have one other thing. I had to order tires for the truck, and the total bill ended up being over $500. I didn't realize that the last time we ordered tires, it was under, and I should have taken the time to research it further. So I didn't want anybody to be surprised. I apologize for not coming and asking for, it was just my screw up for not checking ahead.
How much was it?
698 total, and that's with the state bid.
So Adam, when you get your invoice for that, we'll just bring it in and have them approve that invoice and then it'll be fine.
Yeah, and it'll come, because with the state bid, the invoice for the tires comes from Kansas Land, and then it's done separate from whoever put them on, so.
So we've got mounting plus, the tires plus the mounting?
The 698 is just tires,
Okay.
so we'll
Plus the
have,
mounting, correct?
No,
no,
the 698
That's
is
just
just
the
the
tires.
tires.
because,
So you have plus.
698 plus the mounting.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yeah,
You're
I
gonna say
missed-
separate.
I thought you meant that included. Yeah, there will be mounting and balancing as well, and alignment.
Sorry, I didn't hear you say
We're looking at
plus.
$798.
Okay. Okay, is there any questions for Adam this evening? Thank you, Adam. Dawn, do you have anything this
I
evening?
don't know.
Okay, new business, I should have added that, shouldn't I? I didn't. Police chief.
Executive? Is that the reception?
Application.
Well, you're not going to take action, you can do an FYI. You can just give information.
Okay.
Have we got any, applications on the people that we sent out, the linemen?
For the lineman?
We've got a few applications, we're kind of narrowing it down.
What are we gonna do at next meeting?
Well, not necessarily, I've still got some research to do, possibly, yeah.
What about the police chief?
That's what I was just discussing, I should have added that to the agenda beforehand, and I did not do that.
Or anything we could add for tomorrow night?
No, it's just a workshop.
It's just a workshop.
You're asking for direction, you're not asking for, you're not taking action.
No, no. So, should I just call for an executive session?
Well, no, because
Okay.
that,
All right,
do that.
direction from council, what, we've got quite a few applications, okay? Kevin and I have looked over quite a few of them, so, the direction from council, how do you want to proceed with this? Do you want myself and a committee to, make some phone calls or how do you want to do it? Do you want to do it together, call for a special meeting, do it together?
And we're talking getting a committee
References.
together to call references and that kind of thing.
Some of them were eliminated through the background check, but there's still quite a few.
We have quite a few applicants,
What's quite a few?
quite a few.
10, 15, 30, 100?
15.
Well, to avoid what happened last time, I think we need to be really thorough on this.
I think we should be too.
Okay,
I'm plumb
I move that we-
embarrassed that I allowed something like that.
okay.
I move that we have a special meeting on this.
Well, We can't take action.
Can't take action,
But
okay.
you can,
All right.
when you say special meeting, you want to have a full meeting to do
Whatever it takes for us to find the right candidate or candidates.
Okay, so that entails,
Okay, so like the next
Bruce,
step
you
is
go through
really,
the applications first, weed out, and then decide on how many you're gonna interview.
okay,
well, and they haven't checked any references.
Yeah.
So,
So I think the next step, if I was doing for my department, would be to check the references. Because you might eliminate some by checking references. Now, I'm not telling you that's what you should do, but it would make sense if there is something that comes up from the references that you don't need to consider those.
right.
Would you guys like to see a committee of the mayor and maybe 2 council members check references?
you have 2 council members, you're gonna have to comply.
Oh, yeah,
And I
that's
can have
right.
two.
We can have 2.
With the mayor?
You can't have, you
The
can't
mayor
have
doesn't
3.
have a vote.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. If you get 2 of the mayor.
You just can't have 3 and myself.
Yeah, I'd be in favor of something like that. You guys go through and call out the stuff that you know we can't.
Okay, now you said you guys, so are you gonna be part of that
No,
committee?
I'm not.
Okay, all right. Okay, because it is gonna take some time.
Because I called the deal last time and I'm,
Okay,
I
that's
cannot
enough of
believe
that.
it.
That's the past, so.
have you have time to help?
I can help.
Do you have time to help?
I will be here for most of,
Oh,
Depending on what
I'll
time,
be going most of
the time the
next.
start
Aren't
from
you,
this, I can try and be there, be available to help.
so.
Yeah, what? Amy?
What?
I'm not a seasoned applicant reader.
Wow. I do that at school. I do that at school all the time.
Perfect.
So, like I said, I'm be more than happy to help out depending on the time, and
That's exactly right.
so I'll be more than happy to help out with this, because
Is there anything that says that we can bring other people into this? Like, just like a citizen or two? Or?
In the past, you've had,
In the past, we have.
previous councils
When
have
we-
brought in
When you
1
brought
or
it
2.
to finally having the interview committee, they've had
Yeah.
another committee.
well, I think you guys ought to get a couple council members, the mayor, and see if Sonny will help you come in and do it.
Sunny's given some questions for her.
Yes, Sunny's given me some questions, and I've asked questions from other people. So, to ask detail, get down to the nitty gritty, so.
Do you need a motion?
We can't take any action.
We can't
Okay,
take
so we
action,
decided,
But if you are called upon for a little while some evening, would you feel free to help?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right,
I think everybody ought to have a chance to get involved.
okay.
I agree.
Okay, we'll try to give you a day's notice to let you know to show up whatever night at such and such time here at the city office so we can have a speakerphone. And so we can all hear the same
We'll have
thing.
to have a,
No. If I call upon you and Mark to show up on Friday night at 7 o'clock, then if it's
It's
me
not an
and,
open meeting then.
yeah. So, or if I call upon Troy and Amy or whoever, then we can get this done. Okay?
Okey-dokey.
All right. So I'm glad I'm sorry I didn't bring that up earlier. Snuck that in there. Okay. Old business. Change of venue, council meetings. Yeah. Okay. The large animal wellhead protection.
We can do that
Okay.
Your
Okay.
workshop out of.
Workshop. Okay. All right. And number 2, the change of venue of council meetings. John, did you bring that information? I don't know if you guys remember me asking Amy if she would be interested in looking downstairs how to rearrange the office downstairs to try to
It's
have,
changed, Kevin, since you looked at it.
to try to have
It's
council.
all the same?
This is a little different, but
to try to have the council meeting downstairs. I don't know if you noticed when you come in this evening, but they've already changed Donna's desk from the way it was, and changed Donna's office to looking towards you, Troy, or towards you. Yeah,
There's your front door.
Amy can probably explain to you what some of the stuff is along the wall. You probably know it's
I
shelving.
have this underneath that one where I cut it out, so it's a little easier to kind of see.
I wondered.
But it will work downstairs. It's just going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of money to buy some file cabinets instead of seeing stuff piled on top of.
I will explain what I found when I came in to do some measuring and that type of thing, is that basically they have used, Donna's desk has to be from the 60s. It's bowing in the middle, it's a metal desk, and she has very little room to work. And they've just had to really do with what has been handed down to them.
Because they've never asked.
Different sizes of file cabinets, and there's just stuff piled, and what this is basically I measured out what it would take for what they have. I measured all their cabinets, all their files, and that type of thing. This would be adding some new lateral file cabinets on the south wall and some upper wall cabinets. So all their files would be streamlined in one place. And then Mel would have a new area. Vicki would keep about the same area, and then we added where the dotted lines are your wall cabinets, and you have base cabinets underneath them. This would be a new wall, and we would add wall cabinets here. This would be more of a work area, and the copier would fit in here. It's just, what it is making some changes, and this table will fit, so we could have meetings down there. There's not a lot of seating room, but there would be enough space to pull in some chairs along here and in through this area that we could seat 4 or 5 people. I would suggest that, if we were to make changes, we definitely want some office companies to come in and kind of tell them how many file cabinets they need with what they have now in files. They have their daily work just piled on top of the file cabinets that could be put behind doors. I mean, it could just make their work environments much easier to be productive in, I think. Because right now things are just kind of a little bit everywhere.
Yeah.
And Jonna said since she's been here, all they've ever done is put new carpet in, I think. So.
And a couple of those white plastic tables.
I'm thinking, nothing fancy. When I say wall cabinets and base cabinets, you do the laminate type things. Donna's desk and Mel's desk could probably be made by a contractor here in town, and just, laminate surface with edge banding. I walked in the other day after they changed it around, and it's almost what we have here already. It's much nicer than what it was.
Is it changed down there right now?
Mhm.
Okay.
Where are you going to use it for an executive session?
Yeah, change over there, yeah.
We put seating out in the hallway, and they can go out to there.
What?
Just go up here.
Well, we wouldn't be able to do that. You guys could, but we wouldn't be able to. But there you go again, executive session. We can't have handicapped accessible people come up here, so they would just have to go out in the hallway.
This privacy room or whatever isn't big enough.
Actually, that won't work.
It won't work at all.
Because,
It's got glass and it wouldn't work.
Isn't there-
What do you mean, in Donna's or whose?
No,
Isn't
she
there
was,
some-
she was talking about back in, there's a step up right there anyway.
I wondered about that.
Okay, and there's a furnace back in there, so we really can't use that. But Mel and I talked about if they got a solid door for my office and sealed windows, where those two windows are, then there wouldn't be the sound coming through that there is now. And so I would just have to step out so the police could be able to use that. What?
I think of 9 feet. You're thinking for executive session?
No, no,
New glass?
no,
For
for
police
privacy for the
privacy.
police.
Oh.
Because that's the other ADA thing that we're not compliant with. If we're not compliant by the standards of the council meetings, it would be the same for the police department.
It would be, I think, something we'd have to work on over a period of time, probably.
I wouldn't be against it. I would be interested in looking at some figures.
I would say, I would definitely want to see some bids. Go from there.
And that's, I think, kind of what you were wanting.
So it's set up right now downstairs?
Not like this.
Not like
I
this.
mean, Donna's desk has been moved over
Mhm.
here, and they moved the cabinets, so now the swinging doors are right here. And it works, it's much nicer.
Is there
And
any,
I was done.
is there any reason why we couldn't get a hold of maybe Bill Norris and Troy Wonder to come in and just kind of give a ballpark figure?
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
Just
My goal
verbal.
would be to do it locally.
Don't spend a lot of time on it. just a
Okay, well, that's
verbal-
my next question. If you wanted, Taylor Print or some office place to come in and give us estimate, or do you want a local
Well,
person to come in?
You're gonna have to have
Two different
both.
things.
Okay,
Because these desk areas would have to be more custom built for like a contractor to come in and do. And then OPI is gonna have to come in, or some office place that does deals with file cabinets.
Yes.
Will assess what you have now and then convert that to lateral files.
Yeah.
So we know how many to purchase. But the cabinet work could definitely be done by somebody local. I think you'd rather.
okay.
Well, I don't see why we want to send money out. I mean,
No, and I
use
agree
our
with
own
you.
local contractor.
Yeah, and that's fine with me. I agree.
Yeah,
It'd
that's
make
what I'm
it
saying.
good work.
Yeah.
But the files that are underneath this countertop would have to be looked at from a different source. Unless there's someone in town that
Can do file
can
cabinets.
do that.
Okay, well, we can ask them too. Okay, sounds good.
Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to move that we temporarily move the council meetings over to the library until this is taken care of.
Okay, so you have a motion on the table?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Is there a second?
I don't understand this council, I really don't. You're procrastinating on this, we are against ADA regulations, and you continue to vote against this, it just makes no sense, so.
We're not completely, I don't think we're out of compliance completely.
Yes, we are. All we need to do is just temporarily move over there until you can get this, and this is great. I think this is fantastic.
But with our code of procedure, anyone that needs to come gets put on the agenda. So if someone
Okay,
is.
so if somebody comes in here in a wheelchair, who's gonna bring them up here?
They don't. We move down the stairs for them.
Okay. Oh, that's fine, but still, I've made motion after motion, and nobody seems to really want to do anything on this. Okay? I'm not the only one that's saying it either, so.
I don't think anyone's not wanting to do anything. I think
That's what it looks like, that's the perceived notion out there.
that might be the perceived notion, but it's not true. I know John has called and talked with the gal in Topeka. Mel's called and talked with her. I think for the time being, we're not completely out of compliance because we do put it on TV. We make concessions for those that we need to. So, there's lots of I think it works. It doesn't work great, I will agree with that, but we are trying to move forward with it.
This is a great step right here. I think you did a great job on that, so.
And I'm not totally against moving to the library, I just know I don't know what time you guys come in before a meeting, but usually you're here at least an hour ahead of time.
Sometimes she never goes home.
Yeah, working on stuff.
A lot of times she never goes home.
So I just know there's a lot of stuff that goes on before the meeting that would have to then be taken over there. I don't know, it just is, it's not an easy answer for anyone.
It's about got to be left right here or downstairs where you got access to whatever you need.
I think that is best. But we're working on it. I don't want anyone to think we're not, because we have been.
Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed